Wow, well, that was certainly not the series that we expected. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Hot Stove Media, and today I just want to talk about this series loss to the Oakland Athletics. I mean, this was some pretty bad baseball here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, guys, before you get into this video, please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on that notification bell, like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Yeah, I did come back on Friday. I made my first video of 2024. It's great to be back. If you haven't watched the video, please go check it out. It's great to be back and making some content again. Again, I don't know where this is going to go, but I like this because it's very low key and I can kind of just do it when I want to. But I really don't want to go that long without making a video again. I really don't. I really would like to be more active, and I really plan. That's definitely a priority to me. I definitely want to be active. I definitely want to be here talking Phils, and this is not the way you wanted to go into the All-Star break here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you're not going to win every game. We know that. I mean, you're not going to win every game. But, I mean, this was some pretty bad baseball. It seemed like the home run derby came early this afternoon in Philadelphia. It really did. I mean, the amount of the home runs the A's were hitting. I mean, 8 home runs in total this afternoon against one of the worst teams in baseball. One of the worst teams in baseball. You had a pretty decisive win the night before last night, 11-5. We really pounced on them, but I mean, this was definitely not the way you wanted to head into the All-Star break. Now, in fairness to the Phils, this would have been Zach Wheeler's scheduled start, so it would have been interesting to see how this game would have went if that would have happened. I mean, of course, we got off to a hot start with Trey Turner hitting a solo home run. I mean, this guy, his home runs come in bunches. Somebody was talking about that earlier, and I totally agree. His home runs come in bunches. He was off to a terrible start last year in the first half of the season. Ended off the season with 26 home runs. So that's what Trey Turner can do. So he's on one of those hot streaks right now. He's going in the All-Star break on a high note. I'm very happy with the way he's been playing. I think the whole city is. He's just been lights out this year in the games that he's played. Ever since coming back from the injury, before the injury and then after the injury, he's really just been truly incredible. It's really. There's a fine line here because you have to be understanding that series losses are going to happen, and it's just part of the game, and even way back in 2015 when the Phillies won 63 games and went 63-99, they still occasionally would beat up on a really good team, even though they were absolutely terrible. So you have to go back and look at stuff like that. But I mean, it was 18 runs against you in this game. I mean, that's embarrassing. That's truly embarrassing. I was at the game on Friday night when they lost 6-2, and I gotta say, there was some bad luck. They were really screwing up a lot of baseballs, and they had not really much to show for it. The Friday night's loss, I just would say, hey, you know what? You're gonna win some and lose some. And this game, you got absolutely just clobbered. I mean, you got embarrassed. Really, just truly embarrassed. I mean, it's the first the home series loss since April 3rd. I mean, that's abysmal. I mean, you do that. I mean, that's obviously a great record to be very proud of. But what's abysmal is losing, having that loss to one of the worst teams in all of baseball in the Oakland Athletics. It really I hate to say it sounds unprofessional, a poverty franchise. I mean, this is a team that is just terrible. I mean, really just a AAA level bad baseball team. And just all the way around. I mean, they are so depleted over there. You wouldn't know it today. I mean, they definitely got some of the, some good young players over there. I mean, Butler, hitting 2 monstrous home runs over the batter's eye on the Aspirin Alley. I mean, he just, both over 450 feet. He was on fire today. And Lawrence Butler, that really was frustrating to me. I mean, I'm really frustrated by the way that he really he trouts himself around the bases. I was there on Friday night. First of all, that game, I have so much to really say about that game. I mean, Trey Turner getting thrown out for saying a word to the umpire just because he was upset because he can't do his job right. And then Lawrence Butler pounding his fists around the bases. Let's take a look at the situation. You're a 200 hitter on a team that has won at that time 34 games, and you're trotting around the bases, pumping your fists like that. I mean, give me a break. I mean, that's totally wrong. And it's a joke. It's just a joke, and everybody sees it. He did the same exact thing today. I mean, maybe today was a little bit more justified. Had a 3 home run game. I mean, he definitely, was maybe somewhat deserving of it today just because of the performance that he had. But I don't like that kind of stuff, right? I mean, you're on one of the worst teams in all baseball. and you went into this series with like 7 home runs. You're hitting like 200. And then you're thinking like you're some superstar. And now if Trey Turner's doing that with the season that he's had and the hot streak he's been on, okay, justified. He's on the best team in baseball, and he signed a monstrous contract. He's one of the probably if not the best shortstop in baseball. And if you want to act like that, then that's totally fine. But when you have a guy that has hit 200 this year going into this series, trotting around like that, that's just ridiculous. I'm just going to say that's just really ridiculous. But I have to tell you here, ladies and gentlemen, Serenity Dominguez, he is just, he has not had it. As good as his bullpen has been this year, he just, his velocity's still been up there, but, he's just been getting hit around so badly here. Today you go take a look, an inning and a third, 3 hits and 4 earned. He really got shelled. And it seems like every time he comes in, there's always, it's never a smooth sailing. He's one of those guys. It's never smooth sailing. He's always a base runner. It's always like a deep count. It's never easy. It's never like a nice relief appearance. And Matt Strahm was like the only guy that actually had a good afternoon. He's going to Arlington, of course, deservingly so. Michael Mercado, he's just. Come on. This guy, he just, enough is, 9.26 ERA and 11 and 2/3 innings. He was awful against the Atlanta Braves last week. Do we need to really see any more from this guy? Give me a break. Now, again, I want to go back because I don't want people to think I'm coming on here complaining about this team. What a historic first half. You thought 2011 was good. This is 2011 on steroids, as I said the other day. A 62-34 record to finish off, the first half. And just to put things in perspective for you, the 2015 Philadelphia Phillies won 63 games. And this team has already won 62, and it's July 14th, 2024. This is historic. This has been one of the best regular seasons ever. We're witnessing history here, ladies and gentlemen. It's really just truly amazing. But to go into the All-Star break on this kind of note, not only losing a series to the Oakland Athletics, but this is an embarrassing fashion. 18-3, you allow 8 home runs against you. You allow a guy that came into this to the series 200 average with 7 home runs. You allow him to hit 4 home runs against you in the series, 3 in one game. That cannot happen. That's bad. I'm not even going to say it can't happen because it's baseball, weird stuff happens, but. It's not the end of the world, but it's annoying. It's like, you want to go in on a high note, and you didn't. If you at least would have just taken 2 out of 3, I think that would have been understanding. When you lose 2 out of 3 to these guys, give me a break. Now, I did see something, I've forgotten this, but I guess the Braves had kind of a difficult time against the Athletics last year. So it makes sense. It happens. It's just part of the game. You're going to lose to bad teams. You're going to lose series to bad teams occasionally, but it wasn't like it was a kind of a low-scoring series and they just happened to fight one out. They destroyed us. For the exception of Saturday night, and even Saturday night, even though we scored 11 runs against them, they still scored 5 runs against us. It wasn't like 11-1 or 10-1 like the Dodgers' first game of the series. It was kind of a hard-fought victory. It wasn't a laugher to say the least. So this was just not the Phillies' afternoon. But once again, it was such an amazing first half and. Even though they've had such an amazing first half, it hasn't been all smooth sailing. They've definitely had some bumps in the road. There's no question. Trey Turner missing a significant amount of time. Nick Castellanos not having the same season he had last year with that All-Star. Bryson Stott not performing up to, in my opinion, to my expectations. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber missing some time, about 2 weeks, give or take. JT Realmuto has been out for a month, and this team still has been relentless, and it's not like everybody's been healthy all the way around. So there's been some adversity, and they've really been able to overcome that adversity in such a positive way, and they've done such a fantastic job. And this is not the first time we've seen that. In 2022, Bryce Harper missed a significant amount of time, and they still were able to carry on without him. Everybody thought. Remember June of 2022 in San Diego, Bryce Harper, fractured his left thumb. Was out until like September, and we made it to the World Series that year. Because the guys like JT Realmuto and Kyle Schwarber stepped up big time. They really did, and even Nick Castellanos, towards the later end of 2022, really he kind of started to step it up a little bit as well. So, we've seen this time and time again, and it even carried into this year. It's such an elite rotation. Again, I don't know if Ranger Suarez. I was thinking about this today. I don't know if maybe now. yeah, everybody's upset because he did not have a good outing on Friday night. I was at the game. He really struggled. He seemed very like worn out and fatigued. He just did not have it at all. A lot of base runners, a lot of deep counts, as I was saying before. He really just did not seem very sharp. He really needs this All-Star break. But I think one thing we have to remember is, I mean, this has just been like such an outlier season for Ranger Suarez. I mean, he's been solid the past couple of years, but this has really been an outlier. I mean, a 2.76 ERA to finish the first half and then go into the All-Star break. We have to remember, though, this is not really the first half. I mean, we're way past the 81-game mark. But 114 innings pitched, a 2.67 ERA. If you go back and take a look at last year, 4.18 ERA. So don't get me wrong here. I mean, he's a very solid guy in rotation. I mean, he's 114 innings pitched this year, fantastic. But I think maybe that was just a hot streak he was on. I don't want to speak too soon, but maybe it was. And maybe this is he's just settling back into reality. So we can't really be too upset about that. I think everybody just thought that this was going to be real. I mean, he did broke out in a big way. I mean, there's nothing wrong with thinking that because the numbers really prove that. But now that he's hit a slump, everybody just thinks like, what's wrong with him? Well, I'm sorry, I hate to say, maybe this is just he's settling kind of back to his career average. So we can't really be too overly upset about that. But Friday night, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned. So definitely not his best. Definitely not his best. And he did get smacked with a loss, 10-4 in the year. Remember, I mean, he had one of the, records don't mean anything. Remember, he had one of the best records in baseball for a while. Bryce Harper goes into the All-Star break with a 3-run average, 21 home runs, and 61 RBIs. I think he can easily hit 40 this year. I was talking about that the other day. Second time in his career, first time since 2015, the MVP season, 42 that year. It's insane. It's amazing the level that Harper has played at in his career, and this is only be the second time of him hitting 40 home runs. I mean, this has been significantly hindered, especially over the past 2 seasons with 22 and 23, and even 2017. He would have easily done it all 3 years there. I think he has a great chance to do it this year. I talked about a lot of his home runs kind of come later in the season, so I'm hoping that's what happens this year. So we do have the All-Star break this week, the Home Run Derby tomorrow night. At 8 o'clock, and then the All-Star game at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. And we're back at it again against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh on Friday night. But the thing I didn't like about, I'm going to go back to this one more time. The thing I did not like about the Oakland A's series, I understand you want to rest up your guys, but this kind of seemed like Thompson just kind of threw in the towel. It's like, oh, well, we swept out the Dodgers, so let's just kind of take it easy here. I mean, I understand it to a degree. You want to rest up your guys. I mean, this is almost a week off here. But, I mean, this was a little too much to me. I mean, I still think you could have thrown Wheeler out there today. Maybe had him go like 3 innings or something. I mean, come on. I mean, it didn't even seem like they were even trying today. I didn't want to say that because that just, obviously, they were putting an effort. But it just didn't really seem like they had much heart. And against like a measly AAA team. I'm sorry. The A's, I don't think we realize how bad that team is. I mean, they are really bad. I mean, they're really bad, and clearly saw today they have some young guys that could hit. I mean, Butler. I mean, monsters, 2 monsters home runs. I mean, even that Lawrence Butler guy. I don't like the way he trots himself around the bases, but still, he seems, he kills us. Of course, when he plays us. I mean, 3 home runs against us today, 1 on Friday night. So they clearly have some young guys who hit the baseball, but I mean, this was so bad. I mean, Mercado. I mean, what else do you need to see from this guy? I mean, terrible against the Atlanta Braves last week. Terrible today. There's nothing else you need to see. And I am worried about Anthony Dominguez. I mean, he has just not looked good. He has just not looked good at all. But other than that, great first half. I mean, really just amazing first half. It's a shame it had to end like that, but it is what it is. It's just sports. It's just another series. And one of these teams is going to be playing in October and the other one isn't. So let's remember that at the end of the day. Because the A's are they're going nowhere this season. They sound like spiteful and bitter for losing a series to them, but it's a reality. I mean, they're not a good baseball team. We have the best record in baseball, but it's we didn't really show for this series. But we have to remember that at the end of the day. 2 good teams are going to lose series to bad teams sometimes. This happens. Again, I remind you back to the rebuilding years. When we would occasionally win series against the Washington Nationals when they were winning division titles and losing the first round. But seriously, my point is that it happens. It's just part of the game. But I mean, I honestly would have felt better if they just would have lost 2-1 today. I mean, they get walloped like that. It's embarrassing. It's really just truly embarrassing. But Home Run Derby tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. All-Star game, 8 o'clock. Really got to come back and make another video. I'm gonna be back again soon. Again, that is, you have my word. And if it ever does happen, I'll say it. I will not be taking a 10-month hiatus like I just did. I mean, that was too long, and I really just missed it too much. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. At Phillies House to Media on Instagram. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go Phils! I'll see you guys.